Hi everybody, welcome back to another one of Dax Gordines. That's me drawing process videos. This robot I drew was it's a quick one today. This was just a fun thing I did for hitting 13K followers on Instagram. And recently I've been drawn a couple robots and had some fun doing them, sketching out some designy robot-y things, and felt like doing I think I called it the 13K gratitude robot or something. But yeah, so been having a lot of fun with these, and I thought I'd film it while I was doing it and just make a little video here for you. As you can see, I'm kind of just kind of making it up as I go along, which is what I tend to do on these little guys. Not too worried and not too, you know, how do you say? I'm not stressed about it at all. I'm not trying to make the lines perfect or anything like that. It's just kind of like having a sketch fun, as I'm sure you're all aware or do as well. Or if you're watching this video, you probably like to draw or paint or whatever, so you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's cool too. But yeah, so right now I'm using this program is Manga Studio, and I've been using it a lot for my drawings lately. And I believe the last 3 videos I've done, or the last couple drawing process videos I did, are all done in the same program. I do, however, bounce to Photoshop in this one to color this, because I'm using watercolor brushes that I found and are used in Photoshop. So I've been using them in Photoshop. I'm not sure if there are watercolor brushes for Manga Studio. The base ones that are built into the program aren't that. I don't like them that much, so I've been using, I'll explain it a bit more when I get to the color portion, but the guy's name is Kyle T. Webster. He has developed a wicked set of watercolor brushes for Photoshop, and so you should go check him out. Drop him some money and take the brushes. They're pretty dope. So yeah, so basically, I remember I was having some trouble trying to figure out mouths on these robots. I mean, like the amount of robots I've actually drawn in my life are fairly small, or I haven't done that many. And so for me, these are all just kind of making them up as I go along. I'm not really referencing anything too much. I mean, I've looked at a couple of images on Pinterest and stuff like that, for robots and whatnot, like when I, for motivation back when I started. The first robot I did a couple weeks ago. But these are more for me just trying to be like an experiment and just kind of let my mind go and create something. So I'm trying not to, like, visually rip anything off, or I'm just trying to, draw as I feel it and as it comes out. So a lot of times I'm kind of stumbling on how to make something look cute while still being minimalistic with the lines and the shapes on the robot. Because obviously the more detail you put in, I find, especially to the face, the less cutesy I'm finding it. So, but it's always a learning process. So yeah, I was having trouble with the mouth there, as you can see. Right now I'm using basically I believe a marker brush, and it simulates kind of like your Sharpie felt tip, really thin nib. And I like it for doing these kind of like little sketchy drawings, because it kind of has that loose, marker kind of feel to it. So I've been using them a lot, and actually, as you'll notice, I'm kind of going a bit slower on these. I was trying to simulate doing it traditionally, because you can't, backspace or Control Z with a real marker, and I cheated a couple times. You'll see like that nose up there, the 2 little holes, I kind of ad-libbed in there, and by the time that I was done, I was like, forget it, I'm gonna delete them. But yeah, so I always found too, I respect people that can do traditional stuff so much, like those beautiful, like, marker renderings and stuff like that. From my animation background, I kind of am a very sketchy, fast kind of artist, and very messy. and drawing a million lines, and that over the years of doing that, I was finding when I was trying to slow down and do traditional stuff, I was having a real problem with slowing down and carefully drawing a line one time. And it's actually it surprised me, and I found it very frustrating. It's something I got to practice and work on. So here I was just kind of trying to do that, where, you know, even though I'm still keeping this drawing slightly basically very sketchy and loose, I was still trying to not, oops, I cheated on the mouth too. Sorry, I just hit the mic. Yeah, so kind of lost, what was I thinking there? Drawing, sketchy, loose, yeah, trying to maintain as if it was a traditional inked drawing, which, you know, I didn't cheat too much, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I think by this point I was kind of like, well, I've already cheated a couple times, so I'll just, you know, a few more erasing bits at the end there. So here I am using the watercolor brush by Kyle T. Webster. You should check it out. It's pretty awesome. I'm by no means a pro with it, but I really enjoy using it, and I kind of got away from it for a while. I have a character called Thomas the Sketching Elf. I believe there's an image of him on my YouTube channel banner. He's a character that I've been drawing for years now, and when I first started drawing him, I thought that I wanted to do a kind of a watercolor feel to it, like a children's storybook, because I'm going to be doing, you know, well, eventually down the road, that's the plan, to do a children's book with him. And so I was searching for watercolor, and I came across this guy's brushes on YouTube, Kyle T. Webster, and they're awesome brushes. And I'm literally, for this whole thing is just one brush. He has a bunch. I only bought the one brush to practice with and to get a feel for, and I haven't put it down since. But I do actually want to go back and buy his whole set and experiment with it, because I'm sure it's amazing. But I tend to get overwhelmed by stuff like this, so I go slow. And, you know, the one brush, I've got still plenty to learn, I find, with the one brush, and I can do many effects with that. So it's just kind of learning the basics of how to kind of watercolor, you know. But yeah, so I've been using the watercolor on these robots, and I actually find that it's got a kind of cool look to it. It's a lot easier to. I have a couple of other robots that I did. You can see them on my Instagram. The link will come up at the end of the video, or my name will come up at the end. It's at D__GEE. But you can check that out. I've got a couple extra robots that I did, and I found that this watercolor look, I don't have much of a problem making things look dingy with it. I don't know if it's because I'm getting muddy with the colors or whatnot, but I could make them look pretty rusty and old pretty easily with these watercolor brushes, but still haven't quite spent a lot of time to figure out how to do nice, clean, crisp watercolor drawings. But it's all fun, and I'm learning. So yeah, basically this robot here was drawn as a gratitude thing for to the fans that have been following me on Instagram and hitting a 13,000 follower plateau on there, which was it was a nice little thing to see over the weekend. I was like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, I just wanted to do a robot for all the fans that have been following me for over the years, all over the interwebs. So that's his little internet love heart that is powered by the interwebs and the fans. So this is a lot of fun to do. I think now I'm putting on I'm just putting on some highlights right now. This is the only time I change the properties of the brush. I'm basically kind of painting over top. The base brush is a multiply setting, and so to put on highlights, I'll kind of cheat and put as if I'm using a whiteout pen. I'll kind of just turn it to normal and do a new layer and kind of put some white highlights over, as you can see there, and the eyes and where it'd be the super hot highlights. Then I thought it'd be fun to just kind of throw in a little color behind him. Probably looking back on it, probably should have chose the color that's not so close to the blue. But I mean, it's just for fun. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. So that's it. We've come to the end of the BiddyBot 13K. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more sketch videos. Hit subscribe and follow me. Thank you very much.